Welcome to episode 6 of MikedUp Exploring the Hidden Game. On tonight's show, we have Khalid Missouri, who's the head coach of Solent Kestrels under 16. Hi, Khalid, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How you doing, Mike?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well. So just a bit of background on Khalid. So he was a former Solent junior himself, and he's coached at Solent, the junior program, since 2014. And as previously mentioned, he is the head coach of under 16s this season. And I'd also say he's probably got the best day job out of everyone I've interviewed so far. definitely the most fascinating, definitely the most interesting. But yeah, thank you for taking the time to come on and talk about this National Cup final. Before we begin, obviously it's the National Cup final, two massive junior programs, Solent against Manchester Magic. What was the emotions like of everyone before the game?
Wow, that's a good question. I felt we were very calm, but in my own mind, I was a bit concerned because I don't know if you know this, Mike, but we had some pretty serious injury problems. We had an issue with Rory and also Dan Blumere, who's our backup centre to Leslie. Two obviously very important players, and they both had grade 2 strains to their ankles, and we were literally, Rory wasn't going to play up until the Friday. Rory wasn't going to play, the game being on the Saturday, and Dan was looking very unlikely to be able to play either. But thankfully, we got a physio to give the go-ahead, and we got them strapped up well. And so there was a lot of concern about that. So there was some anxiety, I have to say. But in terms of the preparation, I felt we prepared really well. So I felt we'd scouted Manchester well, felt we could make adjustments, and I knew that we were in a good position in terms of managing the game and being able to deal with what they had. Obviously, there's always a surprise on the day, but I felt preparation was good. Just worried about whether we'd have enough players out there, and obviously someone, particularly like Rory, who's a massive player for us, was a concern.
Okay, great. All right, so we'll head straight into it. Thank you for providing that insight straight away. So what was your game plan heading into this? You talked about scouting them, but what did you want to achieve?
Well, I wanted to play fast. I'd gone to the BTM tournament at Christmas. If I'm scouting a team, I like to watch them live if I can. I don't care where I have to go. So I'd gone to the BTM tournament, and it was a good opportunity to see Reading, who we played in the semis, but also Manchester Magic, who were playing also in the tournament. And having watched them live and then watched some game video of them, I realised that we really had to take care of their guards. Really had to. Mandre Costa, Ben Brown, and Bradley May shoot so well. And what I wanted to do was basically, it's funny, I was watching The Last Dance and Gary Payton and what he had to say how he dealt with Michael Jordan, which was to tire him the bleep out. And that was actually part of the game plan, literally to make them run, take them full court, because Mandre Costa or Ben Brown, they're both point guards, very good shooters, and they would be bringing up balls. So we want to take them full court, make them turn. If they're off ball, make them run, chase them off screens. When they're guarding us, push the ball, just really tire them out so that when they do shoot, we give ourselves the best opportunity, of making them tired. And you know what happens when you're tired often. It can affect your shooting. So that was the plan for them. With their bigs, we wanted just to keep them out the key, make Tom Mayer go right, because he's a really good lefty, got a great touch around the rim. Their other two bigs were more right-handed, and so we wanted to keep them out the key, try and get them shooting from outside. And transition defense was a massive thing for us. We only sent 2 to the boards the whole game. Everyone was getting back halfway line. I think you'll see it at the end of the game stats. I think we held them to about 8 points on fast break. So that was the main thing.
They had 8 points, so yeah, spot on.
Yeah. And obviously our game plan as well, we wanted just to play. Just to play, play fast, kick, drive, use our normal principles, try and find an open man, try and get easy twos, wide open shots, and just play good, unselfish team basketball.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Something I noticed throughout the game is Magic are big, really big. How did you try to overcome that?
I'm laughing because I remember looking at my wife when they walked in to the sports hall, and Rory's mum as well, and they looked at him, and I couldn't believe, it looked like they'd grown exponentially from the BTM tournament which was in Christmas, to February, and they looked massive when they came in, and we only had Leslie really as our big competitive big, because our other big had a grade 2 ankle sprain, Dan Bloomier, but we also had George, who's quite tough and can play. Best way to deal with them was really just to keep them out of key, make sure we box out, be physical with them, and make the boys believe, that they may be big, but we've seen Lord of the Rings with the orcs, and we've got Frodo, we've got Legolas, and all those other characters to do our best to try and take them on. Just make them believe, really.
Love that. Is Zach Frodo or?
yeah, he is, or maybe Bilbo Baggins. And Rory's definitely Legolas. Definitely.
Yeah. So you're on defense right now. What are your defensive principles for this under-16 side?
Well, we like to on ball be hands distance away, put good ball pressure on the ball. We're playing man to man. We want to be stunting in the gaps, but not over helping. On ball screens, the game plan in this game on ball screens was we were going over with any of their guards. We were going over, switching if it's 1, 2 to 3, maybe switching, but that was it really. I think we guard ball screens quite well, and off the ball we'd switch if it's 1 through 1 to 3, and just communicate well off the ball.
And with the guard going over the top of the screen, what were you expecting the big to do?
So the big would be dropping down a bit, and just seeing just gauging what's happening. If our guards got caught, then obviously we might have to have a switch. But we like the help to collapse in, maybe give a bump if the man gets free and come and help. But really want a big to just drop off a bit and look around and see whether there needs to be a switch. That's all. But that's really it with the big.
Okay. So, would you say it was a bit of a nervous start?
Yeah. I think it was, it's 3-2 at the moment, looking at the scoreboard, and I think the score was, I think 5 points within like the first few minutes, but I'm used to that. We've played in quite a few big games before, and with nerves in the beginning of a final big game, you're always going to get that. So I just trust the players, keep using your energy, keep playing. The shots will start to fall. But yeah, it was a slow start for both teams.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. I just want to take this opportunity to identify a few players that will no doubt be spoke about throughout. So we've got Leslie Okafor, number 15, George Clark, number 11, Freddie Horn, number 7, Zach Missouri, number 5, and Rory, number 14. And they were your starters. Is that determined from previous games, or was that due to Manchester being big? How do you decide that they are the starters?
That was our starting 5 pretty much throughout the season. Sometimes Mate had rotated in if there was an injury, but that was our starting 5. So and I felt that was a good matchup for what I thought would be their starting 5, or any of their 5s, to be honest, because Rory can switch, can play multiple positions. Freddie as well can, even George can as well. So we don't really lose too much with that. So yeah, that was my strongest 5.
Okay. You're running a horn set here. What was your desired outcome for this?
Well, a good screen would have been nice, just try and create something. If get a good screen, if the defense they tended to overhelp a bit, so a good kick out for a shot in the corner would have been nice, or someone rolling, or one of the bigs popping out for for a shot at the top of the key. You've got George, who's really good stretch four. He can make the 3-pointers. So there are quite a few options from the horn set. We had quite a few horn sets and quite like them.
And do you allow the guys to call the sets, or are you at the sideline saying, "Guys, run this," or "We need to run this next time"?
Um, they call the sets. If we've got a few empty possessions, then I might intervene and look. And also if I see something like we've got a certain type of horn set which can take advantage of a mismatch down low, which I'll call. It's called Horn's Fist, and often can get a mismatch for Freddie or Rory.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll scan, but normally I let the players get on with it, and they just call the offenses.
The hustle from your guys throughout the game is fantastic. Leslie is consistently diving on the floor.
Yeah, he's fantastic. It's literally from man 1 to 12. We pride ourselves on getting after it, diving on the floor, trying to take. We have a target of charges every game,
Okay.
and yeah, I love seeing players dive on the floor, getting the ball.
Yeah, I see him as a bit of a Draymond Green on this side. The energy he brings in the defense. He got 3 blocks in this game. He
Yeah,
he must be fantastic to have at the heart of your defense.
he has. Well, Leslie, this is the first year he played Prem basketball. Before that, he was playing CVL. CVL basketball under 16, and he joined us this year. A lot of potential, very very raw, but a lot of potential, and still learning the game. We had to do a lot of skill work with him and get him into a position where he could play really, really good minutes. And to be fair to Leslie, he picks things up, he learns. He's got a great character, good laugh, likes to have fun, but he plays hard. He's tough kid. And he was a great addition to the team this year. And there's a long way for him to go, don't get me wrong, but we got him working on his finishing and the basics and got him playing at, I think, a good level for a 5 in this game.
Mm-hmm. You've just done your first sub of the game. Freddie Horn's come off. Any reason for the sub, or is it just rotations?
It's just rotations. Mate is our 6th man, and he could easily start for the team. But I like to bring him on off the bench because he just brings energy, whether that's offensively or defensively. The game always changes. He always affects the game in a positive way, and so he's a regular 6th man for me if we don't have injuries or anything like that. And he pretty much played that way in this game. He gave us loads, man. He's just a fantastic player. I'm very lucky to. I've coached him since he was 13, so he was with us when we were under 14s, and yeah, he's just fantastic. Can't say any more positive words about him.
Yeah,
he just works hard, gets at it, really gets after it, 100% all the time, composed, tough. He may be the smallest guy on the court. I mean, he's probably the same size as Zach, but he is as tough as they come. Very important part of the team.
Mm-hmm. And your jacket's off already. Was it hot in there, or yeah?
I was looking to start a fight, maybe. I don't know. I get hot quite quickly. So yeah, the jacket always comes off, and yeah, sleeves are rolled up as well. I can see.
So Magic are in a bit of a full court press, trying to trap on the side. How are you looking for the guys to break that?
Well, we set up as so if we're bringing the ball down the right side or left side, we invite the trap. We have one behind, so you go and get the trap. You maybe rock a step backwards with the ball, reverse pivot to the guy in the middle, and then usually the guy weak side on the trap will come in the middle, and there's an easy pass to the wing. Pretty straightforward way of breaking a 1-2-2 trap in zone press. I knew they were going to trap. And I knew they were going to press as well. So we had a way of breaking down their press. We were just going to have George or Michael, the other 4, set a down screen for Zach or Mate from the 3-point line, with Mate or Zach inbounding the ball. if Zach didn't get open, then the inbound would come and get a handoff, or the big would get open and the inbound would get a handoff. So we prepped well for breaking their press. Their press was excellent in the semi-final against Luton.
So you actually invited the trap. That was part of the plan.
Yeah, we kind of go towards it and encourage it to come. As soon as it comes, we've got someone always behind, several feet behind in the middle as an option to pass, and we've got someone in the middle as well coming towards the ball so that we can put the ball in the middle if there's an option there.
Okay, great. You're definitely playing with pace, out and running straight away.
Yeah. Nice basket from Rory there.
Good finish from Rory. I've noticed with your offense, and you're looking to get out and run, a few of the guys, when they catch it, they're quite quick to find the point guard, Zach. Do you think at times that could be a detriment to your side, that you're relying on Zach bringing the ball up too much, or are you comfortable with it being in Zach's hands?
Well, the plan was to give Mate more. We've been looking at playing Zach at the 2.
Okay.
And a few games after this, it really clicked against. We played away to Haringey, and it really clicked with Mate at the 1 and Zach at the 2 and Rory at the 3. Mate's quiet, softly spoken guy. He can play the point in terms of ball handling, seeing what's on offer, taking care of the ball, but he's not very vocal. So in a game like this, where you got a big crowd and everything like that, we were looking for Zach to be the primary ball handler. Rory can also bring the ball up, but the problem with Rory was he had a grade 2 ankle sprain. He couldn't really move laterally. I didn't want to wear him out bringing the ball up at all. That would have been too much of a physical burden on him, I felt. So we were kind of relying on Zach a lot to be the general.
That's incredible. He had a grade 2 ankle sprain. Finished with 23 points, 9 rebounds, wins the MVP.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I saw the strap in, and it looked like something out of the Mummy. And I thought to myself, I don't know how he's going to do it. And then I looked around, and they were warming up, and he's just this massive 2-handed dunk. And I thought to myself, I think we're going to be. I looked at Jack. I said, I think we're going to be all right with this one. Yeah. It was amazing. He's a very brave kid, very brave, Rory.
So you're about to go down on defence. Could you just talk us through what your expectations are?
Expectations what, at this stage of the game?
Just with the guys playing defence right now. Are the guys in the right positions? Good on ball pressure?
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing. They're actually following the game plan. With 7, we felt we couldn't let him drive. He's really athletic. We wanted to stay 2 feet off him, give him the shot if possible. It didn't quite work there, but I could see they were trying to stay off him and give him that option, but he still managed to draw the foul. But yeah, I really fancied us man to man. The problem we had was Leslie was prone to getting in foul trouble all season, and particularly so he got much better towards the end of the season. But at this stage, he had a habit of getting, those little niggly fouls, trying to block too many shots. And if he got in foul trouble, I'd have had to rely on Dan at the 5, and Dan was really, it was touch and go whether Dan could actually play any quality minutes in the game. So trying to protect Leslie a lot, which is why we went with zone quite a bit.
Okay. And you touched on previously about the atmosphere. I was there on the day. It was fantastic.
It was great.
You brought a great fan base with you.
Yeah. I'm really lucky. The families really buy in. Their relatives of relatives. My brother-in-law turned up. All kinds of people. So really well supported. I think the chairman at the club, James Matthews, was there as well. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I was sitting.
I'll tell you something else. George and Zach go to the same school.
Okay.
And I think 7 Bitton Park school teachers turned up to support them.
Brilliant.
Which just took on a Saturday, just drove up in the school bus and came up to watch them and support them, which I thought was just fantastic.
Brilliant. No, I was sitting near to your wife on the day, and her emotions were all over the place.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's really invested. I don't know if you know, my wife's a teacher.
Yeah.
she's a proper teacher as well. You know, really prepares her lessons. I don't think she's just amazing at what she does. Very passionate, and she helps me a lot because she teaches secondary school kids, and she gives me a lot of books to read and lots of things a massive help. She's a co-coach of the team, no doubt about it. Without her, we wouldn't be we wouldn't be anywhere.
All right, so Manchester are on a bit of a run right now. Your offense has dried up. What are you thinking? What options do you have?
Just we got quite a lot of offenses we can play, but where are we? We're still in the first quarter, so at this stage of the game, we're just trying to start them because they're on a bit of a flow, and we have a defensive target of 15 points. We don't want to give away more than 15 points in a quarter. Okay. They're already on 18, and so I'm a little bit concerned that their offense is getting. I'm more concerned about defense at this stage.
Okay. Is that why you went the 2-3 zone, to try and get some?
Yeah, and definitely, and it's personnel driven as well. I think with that lineup, I think we'd be better off in a zone. I think my starting 5 man to man, I fancied them, but this lineup, I'd rather go with a zone, and also bearing in mind that we want to try and stop them from scoring, and a 2-3 zone can sometimes do that.
Mm-hmm. And they're also they're quite effective inside. The post guys had quite a lot of success. Yeah. Was the 2-3 to counter that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was we prepared a defense, a kind of playing full court with our guards pushing up. If they were using one guard bringing the ball up, or 2, so the 2 at the top of the 2-3 zone would be high pressure from the outset, and then coming back into a 2-3 zone. Whilst they're putting that pressure on, I want all my 3 guys, close in the key, making sure no one can get inside. And then once they do get over the halfway line to the offense, we try to make it as difficult as possible for them to get inside. To be fair, Manchester shot well. They shot well. In the first half, I thought that they shot really well, very good fundamentals, and they took the right shots as well. So, zone worked to an extent, but I felt I would have been much more comfortable with man to man. But the plan was get to the 4th quarter if we're close, and Leslie's not in foul trouble. Then I like our chances playing man to man defense.
Great. All right, so end of quarter 1, you're down 2. What are your thoughts? You're happy or you're disappointed? You talked about a target of 15 defensively.
Exactly. It's the defense. I'm thinking we conceded 20 points, guys. We need to really focus on our defense. And I think I switched to 1-3-1. This again was personnel driven, but also actually in relation to scout. When I went to the BTM's tournament, Magic played the Young Bloods, and Young Bloods play a very good 1-3-1 zone. Not quite a conservative one in the sense that they're not, but they're one at the back. They haven't got like a guard at the back chasing corner to corner. They have a big at the back who's just going really from the block to block, and that's it within the key. So we practiced that 1-3-1. We practiced it before, and we just practiced to see whether whether Manchester Magic would struggle against it again, as I thought they had in the BTM tournament. Mm-hmm. And I think to an extent we slowed them down. I can't remember how many points they scored in this quarter, like maybe 13 or 15. Yeah, but thereafter,
they scored 13.
Yeah, it was 13.
You're in it right now. Is number 13? He's in the middle.
He's our 4.
Sorry.
So he plays the 4. That's Michael Marr. So he's the centre, and then you see Leslie at the back, and then Roy's dropped down to cover the weak side. So that's a more conservative one. I prefer we play one with Zach at the bottom and then Rory at the top. Again, Rory at the top, or Freddie at the top. And I like that one because we get traps in the corner and really get after it. But I just felt this one would be a bit better, give us a bit more rebounding.
Mm-hmm. Now you haven't got Zach or number 4 on the floor right now. Are you relying for anyone to bring the ball up the floor, or is it up to Rory now?
Well, Taran Taka, number 9, who plays for under 14s, very talented young man, can comfortably bring up the ball.
Okay.
Lewis as well, number 12, he's a good ball handler, he can bring up the ball. But also Rory as well, obviously. But I, I'm hoping that Taran's going to be the one who's bringing up the ball. That's the plan, certainly. And Rory to help him just in case, and Lewis as well. But Michael's a good ball handler as well at the 4, so.
You've gone big right now with 4 bigs on the floor and Zach. What was the rationale behind that?
Uh, I think there wasn't actually any kind of let's go big because they're big or anything like that. Because you're looking at it, they've got Ben Brown on, Ben Prince on, the number 7. They're not overly big. I think it's just rotations in the second quarter, get players on and have a look. George can play the 3, Rory can play the 2, so it's no one's out of position or anything like that. So I just felt comfortable with that 5 at the time, I think.
Okay. All right, so you're about to go back on defense. If possible, could you just talk us through I know your expectations right now? So I think you're still in your 1-3-1. Rory's at the top, so a lot of length.
Yeah.
You liking what you're seeing?
Yeah. I mean, we're making them work for their shots. Fair play to the player there for scoring, but it was contested. So we're just trying to make it difficult for not force them to take shots that they might not be so comfortable with. That I felt they didn't look too comfortable with at the BTM tournament, but they did make a few corner shots. To be fair to them, so.
And that's a shot you're happy with?
Not well. I'm not happy with it, but if they make it, then I'm happy that I've made that decision. If they make the shots, then we got to live with that really.
Okay.
And then change it up. Maybe go 2-3, so we can get out a bit closer to the shoots. But to be fair, they just found a way of finding their man.
Mm-hmm. If possible, for the next couple of minutes, maybe not a couple of minutes, but talk about the talents of Rory. I remember watching him on the day, thinking this guy's got a very bright future. What's it been like working with him?
Oh, it's fantastic. I've had him since he was under 12, and he's a good kid. He works hard. He's proud. He's tough. He's bought into what we've been trying to achieve over the last few years. Basically, a mindset where anything's possible with hard work. There was a time when we'd go up to places like London, and you could just feel it in the players when they were younger. Playing these big city teams that we couldn't beat them, but we've had a plan for years. This isn't just the culmination of 1 year's training these guys. This is the culmination of several years of buying into practicing your craft, getting better at it, and being tough and just working hard. And Rory's a leader in that. He's a fantastic shooter. Unbelievable shooter. I mean, he's gone to a different level this season, and along the way in the cup, there were some games away to Greenhouse, at home to Young Bloods, where you leave him open, you pay the price. It's as simple as that. He's a fantastic shooter, really good defender. If you play him up high, he can drive and get to the rim, but he can also dish. He can also pass. So it's just a really, really good player, and he's got a long way to go, but future's bright if he keeps up the hard work and keeps believing as well.
Yeah, he was fantastic watching him on the day, and down the stretch he hit some big shots for you guys.
Yeah, particularly in the third quarter, and there was a big 3 in the fourth. I seem to remember when they I think they were 5. They come back to 5. And then we got a nice little offense. They're in a 1-2-2, and I've played against 1-2-2 a lot, and we've got a very simple offense which you play against that and against a 1-3-1, and it just always gets us an open shot outside, and if it doesn't, it gets us a really good look inside. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and yeah, that was pretty straightforward for us in terms of what they gave us.
Big three from Freddie Horn.
Yeah, nice. I think is that what they call a gather stat with the drive that's out. I think it's 3 steps there, but yeah, and Freddie's yeah, his shooting's really improved. So yeah, it was yeah, nice to see Freddie catch that one and
Yeah,
swish it away.
Zach too. Now
Yeah.
you've got your starters back in. You're out of the 1-3-1. You're in a man.
Yeah.
What triggers a defensive change for you?
Um, well, if the defense isn't working, I'll change it. But in this case, I actually felt the 1-3-1 was good. It gave some minutes to to the players coming off the bench, so which obviously gave valuable rest to some of the starters. And there wasn't any kind of like method. Right, we're switching from this because it's not working. We're switching. We went to a man because I always felt in man to man that was our best defense. As long as we weren't in foul trouble or anything like that, and coming back to Leslie again, protecting Leslie, I always felt that if we were in man to man, we could get stops definitely.
Okay.
That's my favourite defense anyway. So you know the kind of the zone. You know, there is a place for zone. And certainly in a game like this, when we've got so many injuries and we've got certain players who are prone to getting in foul trouble.
Mm-hmm. A couple of times on offense, you correct me if I'm wrong, but it looked like you ran a bit of flow motion.
Yeah. So, as in, I mean, it's a 4-out, 1-in dribble drive offense with a few wrinkles where we pass from slot to slot, we're cutting and to get a double gap for a drive, or we can call a ball screen at the top from the 4 with still a 1 inside to get an advantage. But yeah, that's our main offense, just 4-out, 1-in dribble penetration, looking to drive. I've got. So Rory's good off the bounce. Zach's, he's really good off the bounce. I could always create an advantage from that. George is getting better off the bounce. Mate, Freddie, there's Taran. Will Latter wasn't playing in that game, but we've got a lot of players who can play off the bounce and kick out when it's necessary. So I really like a 4-out, 1-in dribble penetration offense.
Right. And within that offense, I thought throughout the game, your guys' shot selection was always pretty good. There was never a moment where I thought that wasn't a great shot. But so how are you teaching shot selection?
Sorry, I'm smiling at that. I remember calling out that offense, and probably my only constructive input in the game was calling out that sideline bounds. I'm smiling because we call it shawarma.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if you know my dad. I was in the kebab business with my dad for years when I was young, and I named quite a few of my offenses after kebabs and hummus and falafel and all that stuff. But yeah, we called that one shawarma, and the guy was following Rory a lot, and so I knew George would stick him, and Rory was able to get it, do a fade away. But shot selection is pretty straightforward. If someone's 2 feet off you and you're in a good position, shoot it. If you drive and get to the rim, brilliant. If you shrink the defense, kick out. Always pass to a man who's open. And if there's no help and you've got the ball, all my players, they can play off the bounce, take it to the hoop, isolate the player. So yeah, shot selection. The boys through skill development and putting them in situations. They kind of know the difference between a good shot and a bad shot.
Now, Magic are in a 3-2 zone now. How are you looking to attack that?
So a 3-2 zone, similar as whether you want to call it 1-2-2, I call it 1-2-2. I can't remember whether the guy at the top was actually sagging in on to the now, but I'm looking at it as a 1-2-2. And so how we're attacking is we've got one guard either side of the defender at the top of it, and then we've got someone in the middle to occupy the middle. So that would be the 4. That was, I think, in this who's out there at the moment. I think that would have been it would probably been Dan, but usually George or Michael on the now to occupy that. And then at the bottom we've got our big at the block, and then we just have a shooter. So it'd be Rory going from side to side, He comes ball side. He should get a screen from the big on the ball side block, and there should be a wide open shot for him every time. If it's not, then the guy at the bottom, who's being occupied by the fellow on the ball side block, the 5, will go out and try and catch the shooter, and then we've got someone wide open down low.
And any of those zone offences named after kebabs, or is it just for man?
No, it's just an offense. I think Zach will just scream out, "They're in 1-2-2 or 1-3-1," and the boys know what to do. It's our only offense for that. There's some in the brain somewhere if that doesn't get any far, but it really does. There's so many options from it. You got the shooter in the corner. You got the big down low. You got, if the big gets the ball down low, you then got the guy on the nail dropping down. If someone takes in, there's just lots of options. You've got a weak side shooter you can get on it as well. So very straightforward offense.
And you talked about before how Zach is calling out what they're in. Do you put a lot of trust in him to run the team? Yeah. Bit of a floor general.
Yeah, he's brilliant. Honestly, Mike, he sees things way before I do, and he calls them out, and he's very, very good at scanning and seeing what's going on. It is literally like having a co-coach out there. So yeah, I don't think I've ever remembered spotting something before he has in terms of what the defense is offering on a zone. So yeah, he's very, very good in respect to that.
No, I had the pleasure of working with him at South, and phenomenal young player, and certainly got a bright future.
Yeah,
great.
Thank you.
That's right.
That's from a father's perspective, because obviously, I'd say thank you even if it was from a player's perspective. But yeah, no, I appreciate it.
So 45 seconds left, down 4. How are you feeling?
Nice shot by Tom there. That's exactly what I didn't want, that kind of shot, because I know he's got great touch, nice left. His dad's co-coach with the Magic.
Okay.
John Mayer, really good guy. And so yeah.
Timeout. You've called a timeout right now. Did you want to run something?
Yeah. So what are we running here? We're running. Yeah, we want to try and get a look for a shot. Obviously, that one didn't fall. I had a spare timeout, so I thought I might as well call one out, see if I can get a score. Just one of those really, where I got a spare timeout. I hadn't had the need to use one to stop any big runs or anything like that. So I just thought, why not? See if we can get a score out of it.
Okay.
I called another one. I think called another one straight after this as well. I think I had 2, didn't I?
Yes, you do. Yeah, I was going to talk about it after this. Yeah.
I was pleased with that second one, because there was actually some method in that second one.
That's a fantastic game. 35-33 for I wouldn't say I was a neutral, because I knew a couple of guys on the team, and obviously knew yourself. It was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
End to end, good talent on show. Two different teams playing in different styles. It was great to see.
Yeah, I was really proud of the boys. They didn't seem. I know it looked like they were nervous in the beginning. The shots weren't falling, but they really weren't. The shots just weren't falling. Mm-hmm. I really liked the energy of the boys, the way they were talking, the way they were communicating, and I probably don't look relaxed there, pointing, shirt hanging out, and up and down like but I did feel that there was a calmness, and there was a
and was that press there deliberate?
That's a 2-2-1.
Okay.
2-2-1 trapping.
And here's the timeout.
2-3, and I called that. I called that. I was after the free throws, so I called that after the free throws, just to see if we could just break them and create the turnover, which is great. And then I took this timeout, and we were trying to get Roy to run off some screens and maybe get a shot, but they sagged to stop that. So then Mate got the ball, and I think I don't know where that went, but it didn't get close to the ring.
So 36-33. Did you see yourself being in this situation? Did you see yourself winning? Were you confident in the guys?
I, I thought we had a good chance. We had a decent chance, but I didn't take anything for granted. So when I was happy, we were 3 points up. I was really happy with the way we played defense in the second quarter. As you alluded to, they showed what you called a 3-2, I call 1-2-2. Doesn't matter. They showed that at the end of the second quarter. And so we spoke a little bit about that just to reinforce what we do to break that down, just in case they did it again. And what do you know? I think they played a lot of the second half, particularly this quarter. They played a lot of it it doesn't look like a 1-2-2 there, but it was a 1-2-2. In my eyes, it was anyway.
No, and there's the three you were talking about earlier. Knocking it down in the
Well, this is it. Yeah, they just spot where to go. You see Rory just floating, and I think Leslie set the screen there and created an opportunity. I think Zach lobbed it up, or was it Freddie? I can't remember. But
did you talk about turnovers at all? In the first half, your turnover count was quite high. In the second half, you hardly had any. Do you think that was an emotions, or was it the style of defence that they were playing?
I think yeah, I definitely didn't talk about the turnovers. I wasn't really concerned about the turnovers. I felt we were looking after the ball quite well, but yeah, I didn't talk about it at half time. There weren't really many. I can't remember how many points they got off turnovers, but I didn't feel like we'd been punished overly by the turnovers. So just told them to stick to the game plan, keep calm, keep working hard, and let your skill take over and your knowledge. We practice skills a lot, and just telling them to keep believing and just focusing on the game and just trust what they practiced.
Yeah, they only had 11 points off turnover, so you were spot on. And like you said, talking about you did a lot of skill development with them. Credit to you, they all have fantastic fundamentals. And does credit also go to Jack O'Keefe, your assistant coach?
Are massively, because everything. I mean, he's not. He's not. Let's get this straight. He's not my assistant coach. He's my mentor.
Okay.
He literally coaches the under 18s, and I'll come along and try and help him with that at games. But he doesn't participate in the training in our training for under 16s. But he's always there for me to talk to, as is Matt Guyman. But I probably speak to Jack more. Just because Matt has so many other things to deal with throughout the club. But Jack, the game plan, I did the scouting, I formulated the game plan, and then I go meet Jack somewhere in a Costa coffee shop usually, and I just literally take him through my game plan. He chops it to pieces, and then tells me what he thinks, and he's really a mentor. He's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. But yeah, skill. He's massively into skill and development, and so that's something that we work on that every single session. Every single session, just skill development, finishing, dribbling, shooting, and then a bit of defense, and then we play at the end. But it can be a little bit boring, but there's the players buy into it because they know as their skills develop, they become better players and they become more creative ultimately.
Yeah, it must have been very valuable to have Jack sitting next to you throughout the game.
Yeah, and Matt, don't forget Matt Diaper. Matt Diaper is my co-coach, wonderful guy who helps tremendously. Been there with me since under 14s. It's
You've got a great setup down in Solent, that's for sure. Yeah. Every team, the college, the Division 1 side, as I'm well aware of. Yeah, it's fantastic. I just want to possibly talk about coaching your son. What's that like? When I played, my dad coached me for many years, and I'll never forget when we went up to Newcastle. I got fouled out, and he didn't talk to me all the way home, which was actually quite nice.
But I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it was fun. So what's the dynamic like coaching him?
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Have you got kids, Mike?
No, I haven't got kids.
No,
No.
okay. Would, maybe I'm sure you'll understand anyway. But um, I, when you're having kids, you just want to be with them all the time if you can. I've, I've got a 7-year-old and I've got a 14-year-old daughter, Maya. She's into drama and singing, and I'm not very good at those things. But not bad at drama with the legal career, but definitely not that good at that. But with the basketball, I can help out, and it just means that I get, there's this time when your kids are going to grow up and they're going to leave you. And I've seen it with my own parents, and they always want me to be around. You just can't, because you've got other responsibilities. That time will come. But right now, the last few years, I've been able to spend lots of time with my son. And as a father who loves being with his family, yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't tell you how happy it makes me just to be around. So, and we're really good mates. Obviously, there can be but not really. I don't feel like there's any ever. We just tell each other straight. We talk straight. He's very open with me. I'm open with him.
Hmm.
And it's just been amazing, Mike. Honestly, I can't tell you. I've loved it.
No, I bet. It was fantastic having my dad as the coach as well, and we were quite strict on when we stepped off that court. You were my dad again.
Yeah, yeah,
When we were on that
yeah.
court, everyone understood that he is the coach, and I won't be calling him dad around the floor.
Well,
So
we
we,
got this rule. We've got this rule. We don't after a game. We don't really talk about the game. We like to, let the dust settle and everything, and then we always have the game's video and watch the game. Um, you get much more informed when you watch a game and you see things, and things that you may think emotionally at the time didn't work out so well. You watch back and you think, actually, that wasn't too bad, and we did good here, and you see so many more positives. So we go through the tape afterwards, maybe with as a group, and maybe Zach and I would talk about it a day or so later. But yeah, on the way back home, we're trying to talk about what we're getting at Fleet or whatever.
okay, great. Throughout this quarter, you are. Thank you for bringing that insight into Zach. That was great. Throughout this quarter, you were constantly. I could hear you on the sideline saying, "Push, come on, push it."
Yeah,
What was the reason
yeah.
behind that?
Because I wanted to tire them. We've got a really fit team. We do a lot of fitness as well, and I fancy our chances against most teams at that level. If it becomes a test of endurance, then I fancy us,
Okay.
and so I want us to push the ball, make them work hard, so that when they get a chance to score or a shot, they're tired.
Hmm.
Okay, because I just felt that we're a fit team. We might not be the biggest team. We're definitely not the most athletic team, but we've got speed, endurance, we've got stamina, and if you've got skill level and stamina and competitive spirit and toughness, that's the way we're going to win games. That's the only way we can win games, because we get into half court slow games with bigger teams. We're gonna struggle.
Yeah. No, it worked. It worked really well. You're on a bit of a run now. Are you conscious with your dialogue on the sidelines, or you say what's first thing in your head?
I really try. I actually thought I was in these big games. I'm always usually. I feel like I'm calm. I feel like calm. I feel like I get most animated during the games which aren't so. How can I put it? Aren't so important, because you're picking up on fundamentals, principles, non-negotiables, if you want to call it, that you want the players to adhere to, and you're trying to make sure they stick to what we're trying to do. But yeah, in this game, I felt like I was calm. Although maybe you saw something. Maybe I was having an out of body experience and you saw something different.
I think they've given you, which is fantastic. And through being
Oh,
authentic, the guys know who they got, and for sure they're all competing for each other. They're competing for you, and it was great to see how much it meant to the guys as well.
thank you. I'm not. I'll be honest with you, Mike. I'm not the most technical coach, the most encyclopedic of coaches in terms of knowledge and stuff like that. So I said from the outset, when I got asked to coach the Kestrels back the years, I said, well, what can I offer really? And the main things are really just just believe, never give up. anything's possible with hard work. That's my view. I mean, I'm proof of that. I don't know how I became a lawyer, because, you know, I got a lot of trouble when I was young, and, you know, they don't tend to allow people with, you know, who've been in trouble to become lawyers. And, you know, I got told by my probation officer, I should stick to kebabs. That's what he told me when I told him I wanted to become a lawyer, and I made sure I proved him wrong against all the odds. And I thought, we'll hope, that's what I want to bring to these boys. You know, anything's possible. I'll work as hard as I can for you. All you've got to do is the same and believe. And hopefully that'll be a life skill you can take, because we don't know what's going to happen with basketball, but we know we're going to go on and live. And I hope if they take one thing from me, these boys, is that, you know, if they work really, really hard and they believe, anything's possible, whether they want to become, whether they're mad enough to become lawyers, diplomats, doctors, NBA players, whatever. Just
Well, it's
believe
funny the
and work hard.
probation officer said you should have stayed in kebabs because your kebab offences are working in this game. So well done to that probation officer.
Yeah. I love it. You're making me want to. I haven't eaten yet. You're making me think of hummus. I'm starting to think of hummus and bit of bread and falafel. Yeah, my stomach's starting to rumble, Mike.
With your zone, the
Yeah,
two guys at the top, um,
yeah.
were they encouraged to be in a slight press so they weren't just easily walking the ball down the floor?
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, that ties in with, we want to be compact, make sure Leslie doesn't get in foul trouble, and Rory as well, because you know, with his ankle, zones are less physical on him, less burdensome on him. But we want the guards to put pressure on, and then when they're coming up over the half court, someone on the ball, see like Zach, so like Mate's on the ball there. They haven't got anyone on the nail. I like my other guy at the top to take the guy at the nail.
Okay.
It's risky because obviously they can skip the ball and get a wide open free on the other side. The closeout's a bit difficult, but Rory can step up and take that, almost go into, and then Zach can come and bump him down.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like to guard the top, the nail, and make sure we guard the ball on the 2-3.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that the 2-3 worked with your rebounding stats, because you were out rebounded by 25, not by 25. They had 25 offensive boards. Are you prepared to live with that?
Not really. That's why I'm not a big fan of zone, particularly when it's always a risk with offensive rebounds. If you've got really athletic guys in the zone, they can compensate for that. And to be fair, we've got Leslie, but that's it. So yeah, I'm not really happy with that. But again, it's really self-preservation, Mike. It's completely tactical for this game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I keep saying it, to protect Leslie not getting in foul trouble, and you know, having to rely on Dan to come on with an injured ankle.
One player I feel went under the radar. Maybe not for you guys, but a couple of people around me. They were talking about Leslie. They were talking about Rory. They're talking about Zach. George Clark, for me,
Yeah.
was awesome for you. He had 16 points, 11 rebounds. Always, he seemed to always do the little things that other people didn't notice. What's it like having him on your side?
He's great. I call him the landlord because he used to be. He's not so much a shot blocker now, but in the old days, literally, if you came into his house, you know, you needed permission to come into his house. So we always used to call him the landlord, and stuck with him. I've coached him since he was under 11.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been great with George's high IQ player. He's played the longest out of all the players. So he's got very high IQ. He's just got a knack for the basket. Got a lovely touch. Finishes well. He can sniff a basket. He's a very clever player. He can get really good defensive rebounder. Really good rebounder. And yeah, the problem with George, a lot of the time, he always comes alive in the second half. So, and sometimes in games, first impressions last. So you might not, in the beginning of the game, you might not see what he brings to the team. But I can tell you what, if you're watching the game, and like yourselves, you know the game, you can see what he brings. In the second half, I think, he definitely helped us a lot. When Zach had to come off in the fourth quarter, he stepped up he stepped up big time, and yeah, he's been a great player for us. I mean, look, great rebound there. See it, just snatch it, save,
No nonsense.
no nonsense. And you know what? He scored a basket in the first half. Made me laugh. He got it on the wing and got a ball screen, I think, from Leslie.
Yeah.
Took it to the rim, and that's great. Because I've been trying to get him to play more on the perimeter. He's always been like a 5 and a 4, but I wanted him to play an inside 4 at that. I wanted him to perfect his skills on the perimeter so he can take players off the bounce. And he's done that a lot more this year, but he's got a lot of work in that regard because he's going to be a 3 at best, I think.
Yeah.
And he needs to be in that position. And he's getting there.
Yeah, sure. All right, 58-49. Your best quarter, 22 points, kept them to 16. Do you feel like you've won it yet?
I'm happy. With the defense is good. I think that was a 15-point defensive. We limited to 15 points. I know we're in the lead now, and I know if we go man to man with my strongest defensive 5, then I think we can do some damage. So yeah, I'm liking what I see at the moment. I'm pleased about the way the game is going. Although yeah,
Starting the fourth, a little nervous.
but you see the turnover there. But look, you see how quick they get back, Mate and Zach, and contesting. I'm like, even though it's a turnover, I'm looking. What's the reaction? What's next? Bang! They've sprinted back and they've created a turnover. So yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm. You've really developed an environment with all these boys where they're competing right till the last minute, and you've got to be proud of how they played in this game.
Yeah.
How have you developed that culture with them?
So we have like in the beginning I was thinking of getting my mate who's an MMA fighter to come in and teach us some Turkish wrestling and all that stuff. Because there was a lack of I wanted to make them competitive and toughness, and don't fear physicality. Getting hit hard and falling on the floor. It's just a bruise. You're going to heal. Don't be afraid of it. So be tough. Take charges. I think with fitness, that gives you a level of confidence as well when you've got good endurance, and just to keep going, keep believing. We had a game once in Holland when they were under 14s, and it's a brilliant tournament. We were a HMBT tournament in Groningen, Holland. We were playing against the Slovenian national champions and the Lithuanian national champions. We had a game against the Lithuanian national champions, and they had this guy called Paulius Maraskas. He was in the next generation tournament. He was in the All-Star 5 with Cameron Hildreth.
Okay.
And he's an unbelievable player. Mm-hmm. And they were going into the fourth quarter with 7 minutes to go. They were 25 points up against us. Okay, we came back. We went on a 24-0 run. Came back and we had a shot to win it. We didn't, but they, from experiences like that, they know to keep going until the final second, because anything can happen in basketball. So it's built on experience, and it's all very well me talking about it to them, or Jack or Matt Guyman or anyone. They have to experience it themselves to actually believe. And I'm grateful for having had the opportunity for them to have had the opportunity to experience it, because it builds into their knowledge and experience. They know they can keep going, and something may happen.
Mm-hmm. Now, at this point in the game, just before the camera turned to where the ball was, you're in a deep conversation with Jack. Can you remember what you were talking about right now?
Yeah. Get Zach out.
Okay.
He's got his fourth foul.
Okay.
I'm thinking in my mind I can trust Zach. He could probably play on, no problem at all. Jack's saying, look, we've got a decent lead. We don't need to take any risks. Let's take him out for 2 minutes and see what happens. If they start coming back and we look a bit wobbly, then you can put Zach in. Let's just see what happens. And like any good lawyer, takes good advice from his co-counsel and followed it. And obviously he's my mentor, and it was very, very good advice, because I think we increased the league to about 17.
Yeah.
So that was it. It was just literally a conversation. It was an important decision. Do we keep our floor general out there, or do we take him out? And I was grateful to have Jack there.
and Clark takes over a bit of the responsibility.
Yeah.
He does a fantastic job.
I keep laughing because it's typical of George. Just second half, he just comes alive. It's almost like he's, he just always does it, and it's just a running joke with me and George. He just comes alive in the second half. It's great.
That's fantastic. You've got guys coming on the floor. Like Freddie Horn, I think he plays 16 minutes, but he comes on and still giving it his all.
Freddie probably play more in other games, but their guards are quite small, quite shifty, and I felt Mate could offer a better defensive protection against Mandre Costa, Ben Brown, and Bradley May. But I thought Freddie did a good job on Bradley May when he was guarding him. Particularly if they got Mandre Costa and Ben Brown at the same time, then I want probably Zach and Mate to be guarding them.
Mate's defense right there was fantastic.
Yeah. That was a really big moment in the game there. It was just, really big energy boost for us.
His confidence is right up there right now.
It's like I say, as a six man can come in and it's not necessarily scoring. You don't have to score. Just if you do something defensively, and that's just as good in my view. And that's what he does. He can score, but he definitely the energy of our defense changes when he's out there.
Now, Leslie is. You're not in the zone right now, but Leslie is hugging the basket.
But Leslie's in the zone, yeah.
Was that something you decided, or?
No. Can you hear me shout at him? Leslie was playing man.
So you weren't happy with that?
No, well, I was just trying to guide him and tell him. Sometimes, I think maybe he's over helping, maybe. Maybe he thinks we're in a zone. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, thinking he was over helping and being good to his teammates.
Really great game. Great pass.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I kind of like. I did wonder whether George should have just caught it and got up, taken his time and gone up. But fair play. If it had gone in, it'd have been another big energy boost. But yeah, this is I like this because Freddie's out on the break running, and there's George sweeping up, not taking it for granted that Freddie's going to make the layup because it was a contested one in any event. So yeah, I really like that passage of play.
Now they begin face guarding Rory. Are you considering basing your sets to get Rory open as a result of being face guarded, or are you happy still to come naturally?
Well, I'm happy for it to come naturally. I think this was it looked like a box and one when they did that. So we have got an offense for box and one where we do try and get Rory open, but we try and take advantage of the middle. And I think with George on the nail in the middle, it gives us good options for him to get the ball and drive or create if one of the people down low comes up to give something to Leslie. But if he's face, there's definitely a passage we're coming to when he's being face guarded. And what I like to do is, what we like to do basically, I got this from Jack and Matt, is we use the chap who's being face guarded, Rory, to set a ball screen. Because you're always going to get an advantage because the player guarding Rory is just going to stick with him. He's not going to switch or anything like that. And Rory sets good screens. So it's an advantage for us. And you'll see, I think when Zach comes on, he gets a couple of good opportunities to make a couple of floaters because Rory's set him a good screen and Rory's play hasn't switched out to guard Zach. So it's very basic. And obviously we've got good space in, so if any help comes in, we can kick out. So very basic way of breaking down the face guard.
64-54, 5 minutes to go. How you feeling?
I'm
feeling all right. He's rolled up again or not?
No, I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling like we're okay. We still got Zach to come on, and we've got we haven't got Leslie in foul trouble, and Rory's doing good considering his ankle. So yeah, and look, I put Taron on here, which is phenomenal. He's just he's playing under 14s and he's coming on in the last 4 or 5 minutes. Taryn's a really good defender, and I felt like, and he can guard people who are shifty and have a low centre of gravity. I just felt, I think I switched him in for Freddie. I just felt that Taryn would do a good job guarding. I think he's got Bradley May there.
This is a big momentum change right here.
Yeah. Nice basketball. I'm really pleased with that. That's we've been practicing things like Leslie Euro steps, finishing with the left. If you saw him when he first come, that's just great. It just shows that what he's been practicing, he's taken it on board, and it's just nice to see him score that kind of basket. Euro step with the left hand. That when you see where he came from, you'd appreciate it.
Now, to go from the league he was playing into the under 16.
And very, very raw. I mean, he was dunking over everyone, but in terms of the skill and being able to finish, reverse layups, either hand jump hooks, all that kind of stuff, that's the kind of things he's been practicing with us and getting there. He's got a lot of work to do, but yeah, he's got great potential. That's an example of coming. I think that was the box and one. I think that was an example of box and one where Roy's being guarded. And we got it into George, and he can drive. He can make the shot from the nail, no problem at all. So yeah, that was a good example. And I think it's an and one, wasn't it? So.
Now you're about to bring Zach back in. 4 minutes, 4 seconds left. You bring Zach back in, up 16. Is that just to calm everyone down?
Yeah, just to see the game through. Just make sure we manage the game well, and yeah, just to get him in.
Great.
And just try and close the game out. I think that's the lineup now with Zach in. I think it's the best lineup to close the game out. Good. That's a good defensive lineup, and a good offensive one as well. Nice basket.
Yeah, look, Rory up straight up the floor, face guard.
Yeah. Let's see what they're going to do.
Yeah, Rory's into it, setting the screen.
Yeah, decent screen. Look, it's wide open. Yeah. So we've got a good look. Can't really complain.
It's great that the guys are putting into action of something you've taught them.
Yeah, but I didn't call that. That's them just doing it. I didn't say that's something that we've had faced before, and that's just them just from previous experiences how we dealt with it. So it's nothing I had to call. They just did it themselves.
Big call there.
Yeah.
All right, it's 3 minutes 20 left, and you call everyone over. What's your reason behind that? You remember?
I'm trying to
manage a little bit.
Just trying to call them over, just to chat to them, just to tell them, look, 24, work the shot clock. I want us to make sure that every possession we go deep into the shot clock. Obviously, not so deep that we take a panic shot, but we're looking for shots, from 16 seconds there on, and we should be able to get a good shot from there on. If we have to, just have Zach just dribbling the ball and calling a ball screen or whatever, then that's what I want. Just keep the focus. Just manage the clock now. That's all it's about now, managing the clock.
That was a big call to get 2 shots in possession.
Yeah.
Do you talk to the boys about stats at all? Because you shot 41% from the free throw line. Is that all right? Next practice, we're working on that, or is that something you as coaching staff think, all right, that's something we need to look at next season?
No. After the game, I did reflect on the free throw shooting. So Leslie gets to the line a lot, and it's something he certainly needs to work on. There's other players who normally we shoot well from the free throw line. So there's an element of there's an element of nerves which always comes with free throws in big games. So I had to make an allowance for that. Leslie can improve from the free throw line. George as well, another one who can improve from the free throw line. But there's only so much you can do in a practice. And I'll be honest with you, it's not something we practice as much as we should have during the season. I actually encouraged them to go and do it at school. So Zach was getting up early every morning to shoot free throws. I know other kids were doing it as well. So yeah, that was a kind of something that I placed on the players to practice at their schools. if they could, because I had one 2-hour session and one 1.5-hour session a week, and that was it. And I decided, because of the eclectic nature of the group, some hardly played before, some played Premier, some had only played Conference. I just had to focus on skills, good team concept defending, and a decent and some simple strategies on offense. So just keep it simple, because they're in the GCSEs, they've got enough pressure as it is. It's a GCSE year. Just try and keep it simple, and that was really the focus. But the free throw percentage wasn't what I'd wanted it to be honest.
No, I really appreciate your honesty. That's what this is all about, and I love that you had guys going out themselves, recognising that it's something they need to work on and getting up early and doing it.
Yeah.
That's great. For the final few minutes, you went back to your man. I know you love your man. Was that to just go to what you trust and to win the game in style?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got nothing to lose. That's my favourite defence. That's our best defence. And oh gosh, I'm not sure Leslie did get a foul there, but maybe I could. Yeah. It was literally to because I felt that was our best defence, and I just want to play that defence, I suppose. It wasn't about winning in style or anything like that. I respect the opponents massively. Great club and great people. Will and John and Bradley's mum. They're good people. So I just felt that's what I always wanted to do. If we weren't in foul trouble, and I felt Roy was all right physically, I wanted to play man to man.
Yeah. Were you tempted to foul at all, to put them on the free throw line, because they shot 46% from the free throw line as well, or is that something you'd rather?
If it was a close game, not even in if they were up and we needed to manage the clock and slow the game down, then yeah, but this wasn't that kind of game, in my opinion. Just play and see what happens. I think they got a bank shot free, didn't they? And then Ben Brown got a cheeky steal off a good steal actually off Mate, and I'm trying to remember. And then I took a timeout. I remember.
Yeah, they start.
Yeah, this one look. I mean, it's a good closeout. There's not much you could do with that. I mean, good basket. But then this one, then you get there's 12 points, and then look. There's Mate, and then
Not quick to call a timeout here. Is that just to kill momentum?
Yeah, absolutely. Kill momentum. Look, they're in a full court press. Just to remind them, so they've forgotten what they should have been doing there. George should have been down at the 3-point line. It's right that Matteo should be inbounding, but yeah, George should be setting the screen for Zach to get open, and just to calm them down and just remind them of how we're going to break their trap. Their full court press, which we did then.
No, I thought a perfectly timed timeout, because it's exactly what you needed.
Indeed.
And you brought Leslie back in after that timeout. Is that again just getting your starters on the floor?
Yeah, just keeping it calm. Yeah, because it's still, there was, I think it's 130, 120 left. It's still several possessions. The game's not over. There's still opportunities for them. So yeah, with Leslie out there, it's our strongest defensive lineup. He's our best rebounder. So yeah, I want him out there, and he's a presence. He's a physical presence in the middle.
That was a fantastic rebound on that last play to secure the possession. All right, 50 seconds left. The game is done. What would you say your biggest takeaways from this game was, positively? What were you most proud of?
So I was really proud. There's Muhammad Ali used to always say the fight is always won out on the road early in the morning, doing your running when it's miserable weather, when you don't want to be doing exercise, when you don't want to be training. The fight's won long before you dance under these lights, before the crowds and all the people. That's a big principle for me, and this game was all about the prep beforehand, and the boys and how they worked and how they bought in, how they followed the scout, how they listened, and so this was all about preparation. For me, this is, of all the games I've ever played, this was a game about preparation. And the game plan going. Individually, I'm thinking, well, thanks so much to Dan, who was prepared to strap up and back up Leslie, even though he was injured, he still come on and got a few rebounds, got a couple of free throws, and Rory for being so brave and playing individually. Rory being so brave and playing, and he did risk his physical health to play in the game because you don't know what's going to happen. We had the ankle very well strapped. He couldn't really move laterally, but you don't know what could happen in a game. So it's a big sacrifice, and I think I know he has no regrets about that at all because obviously he didn't make his injury worse and he helped the team win.
Look at the Congratulations, what a win! Look at the reactions. You're three coaches. The boys are loving it. Must be one of the proudest moments of your coaching career.
Yeah, very, very, very proud because it was really tough. It was tough. It's a tough age group, I think, Mike. I'm sure you've experienced, but it's a tough age group under 16s because they got so many pressures on.
Yeah.
We won the nationals in the under 14s, and it felt much different. It didn't feel as hard back then. We had 3 sessions a week. The boys didn't have so much pressure on them. There was a joy, a happiness about it all, and obviously the hormones had kicked in a couple of years later. So it's difficult. It's still great lads and great, but yeah, it was a hard journey. We had to beat Greenhouse away. We had to beat Young Bloods, a phenomenal team, and then we had to play Storm, who'd beaten Richmond. And then Reading, another phenomenal team in the semi-finals. It was tough,
and really great program. Yeah, what a win!
It was tough, but it meant a lot. I was really, really proud of them, and it's a real shame, Mike, that I felt Rory didn't play, and Dan, they didn't play hardly any games. I think Rory tried against Greenhouse after this, but again, his ankle wasn't great. But I feel like towards the end of the season, we would have had a full strength team together. And I really would have liked to have seen what we could have done in the playoffs. Not saying we'd have won anything at all, but I would like to have seen the team progress over the full year. That was the only regret, really, that we didn't get a chance to see them reach their full potential.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant. Okay. I know you're a busy man, so I won't take much more of your time. That was brilliant. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed that. It's great to speak to someone within Solent are a fantastic club.
Thank you.
And to be a member of that and to provide some insight into delivery of a top program is really grateful, and I'm sure others will benefit from it as well. I love your honesty. I love how humble you are, and I love the culture you've created, and it must be an absolute pleasure to coach within that environment. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you reaching out and asking me for an interview. There's some fantastic coaches you got on here, way out of my league, but way above what I do. But it's a real privilege to speak about it. I love basketball, so it's keeps me out of the police station. So I'm more than happy to talk some more. Right. So thanks so much for inviting me, Mike. And best of luck with everything you're doing. I love all this, and good luck with your academy and everything. I wish you the very best. Top guy.
Thank you, mate. Really appreciate that.
Thanks a lot. See you later.